Here are some things that all good readers remember. Predict what the book will be about. Ask yourself questions as you read. Try and work out difficult words. Listen to yourself as you read. Reread when you need to. Can you predict what this book is about? Click on a book feature to find out. Title. The title tells you what the book is about. What do you already know about this topic? Illustration. The illustration on the front of the book shows you something that is happening inside the book. What does this picture show you? Blurb. The blurb is on the back cover. It gives you some information about the book. What other information do you think you might find in the book? Table of contents. The table of contents is a list of the topics in the book.
Wild Weather by Andrew Whitmore.
Click on the speaker on each page to hear the book read. If you get stuck, click on the Help button. If you are having trouble working out a word, try these strategies. Skip the word and read on to the end of the sentence. Can you guess what the word is now? Does it make sense and sound right? Look at the start of the word. What sound do you hear when you say the first letter? Can you sound out the first 2 or 3 letters? Look at the whole word. Are there any parts you can sound out? Break the word into syllables. Reread the whole sentence. Can you think of a word now that makes sense and sounds right?
Wild Weather by Andrew Whitmore. Contents. Wild Weather, page 3. Storm Warning, page 4. Downpour, page 6. Superstorms, page 8. Tropical cyclones, page 10. Flooding, page 12. Drought, page 14. Rising temperatures, page 16. Bushfires, page 18. Find out more, page 20. Fun page, page 21. Quiz, page 22. Glossary, page 23. Index, page 24. Wild weather. Thunder, lightning, extreme heat, howling winds, heavy rains. Extreme weather is a powerful natural force on our planet. How powerful is a cyclone? Which weather-related disaster is the #1 killer? How many times can lightning flash during one storm?
To find out the answers to these questions and more, read on.
The Earth is surrounded by a band of air called the atmosphere. The weather takes place in the part closest to the ground, below the cloud layer. Storm warning. You can tell when a bad storm is heading your way. Dark, flat-topped storm clouds form overhead. Lightning flashes across the sky. Thunder cracks and rumbles in the distance. Cold air. Warm air. Energy from the sun and moisture in the air combine to make a thunderstorm. The sun warms the air. The warm air rises. Water vapor is trapped in the warm air. The vapor cools as the warm air rises. The water vapor condenses into droplets and makes a cloud. Storm clouds have a lot of energy. The storm uses this energy to make lightning and strong winds. Did you know? You can work out how far away a storm is by counting the seconds between when you see lightning and hear thunder. Divide the number of seconds by 3, and that will tell you how far away the storm is in kilometers. If you count 15 seconds, the storm is 5 kilometers away. Condense. Turn from gas into a liquid. Water vapor. Water in the form of an invisible gas. Thunderstorms can be deadly. Between 5 and 10 people are killed by lightning in Australia every year. A thunderstorm in 2002 in Darwin produced 1,634 lightning flashes in a few hours. There are approximately 2,000 thunderstorms occurring around the world at this very moment. One fork of lightning carries enough electricity to light a whole town for a year. Downpour. A little rain never hurt anyone. Think again. Flash floods are dangerous weather events. If a lot of rain is released at once, and it cannot drain away quickly, rivers and creeks overflow and damage the environment. Follow the numbers to see the hailstone getting bigger. How hailstones form. Tiny pieces of ice fall from the top of a cloud. Moisture in the air sticks to the ice as it falls. Air lifts the ice back to the top of the cloud. The moisture freezes onto the ice. Each time the ice falls, it gets bigger as more moisture freezes onto it. When it gets really big, it falls to the ground. Fast facts. Large hailstones can be as big as a tennis ball, smash car windows, flatten crops. Flash floods are dangerous because the floodwater moves very quickly, so it is difficult for people to get out of the way. Flash floods can destroy buildings, snap power poles, and overturn cars. Floods can cause a huge amount of damage, especially when they strike without warning. Flash flood. A flood that happens suddenly because of heavy rain.
Rushing water only 15 centimetres deep is powerful enough to sweep a grown man off his feet.
Superstorms. Some storms are bigger than others. The biggest storms build up over the warm seas on either side of the equator, usually towards the end of summer. These kinds of storms are known by many names: cyclones, typhoons, and hurricanes. They all spell disaster to anyone unlucky enough to get in their way. Eye of the storm. Tropical Cyclone Larry. Equator. Imaginary line around the middle of the Earth. Eye. The calm, cloudless center of a storm. Cyclones start as nothing more than a lot of hot, moist air. As this mass of air rises, cooler air rushes in to take its place. Because the Earth is spinning, the air moves in a circular motion, like water going down a drain. At the heart of every cyclone is a tower of hot air several kilometers wide. This is called the eye of the storm. There is usually no rain when the eye of a storm is passing overhead. In fact, the sky may be blue. When cyclones come onto land, the heavy rain, strong winds, and large waves can cause tremendous damage.
In satellite maps and photographs, cyclones look like giant wheels.
A cyclone can dump as much rain in one day as a city might receive in 1 year. Tropical cyclones. Tropical cyclones happen in the tropics. They can whip up pounding waves that measure up to 9 meters high. The waves can devastate coastlines. They bring thunderstorms with heavy rain and strong winds. Tropical cyclone Larry began in the Coral Sea on March 16, 2006 and grew stronger. It reached Queensland on March 20th. When it slammed into the coast of Queensland at Innisfail, winds were measured at 290 kilometres per hour. The cyclone wiped out 80% of Australia's banana crop. Many buildings were damaged and thousands left homeless. Further inland, near Mount Isa, 583 millimetres of rain fell in 48 hours, leading to flooding. Devastate. Turn into a wasteland. Cyclone Larry's path from the Coral Sea to Queensland. Did you know? Storm surge. Fierce winds swirl around the eye of a cyclone. When the cyclone is over the ocean, the winds blow up lots of water into a pile like a huge dome. The dome of water, or storm surge, can be up to 80 kilometres wide. The winds drive the storm surge towards the shore. The storm surge comes ashore like a giant bulldozer, sweeping away everything in its path. Because Australia does not import bananas, the loss of the banana crop in Cyclone Larry meant the price of bananas rose to $16 a kilogram. The city of Darwin was devastated by Cyclone Tracy on Christmas Eve 1974. The cyclone killed 71 people on land and at sea.
Luckily for Queensland, the tides were low when Larry hit. The storm surge was not so great.
Did you know? Cyclones are rated from 1 to 5. 5 has the highest wind speed. Larry started as a 3, but was a 5 by the time it hit land. Tropics. The areas on either side of the equator. Flooding. Flooding typically occurs in Australia when heavy rainfall causes rivers to rise and flood the surrounding area. Floods in inland areas can often last for weeks or months and cover thousands of square kilometres. Floods in the high country or near coasts where the rivers drain to the sea more quickly may last only a few days. However, they can happen without much warning and cause more damage because people don't have time to escape. Isolated. Separated from others. This town in New South Wales has been isolated by the floodwaters. Trained rescue services move into action to get people in flooded areas to safety. You should never try to drive through a flood. Sandbags are often used to hold back floodwaters on the banks of rivers and streams. Drought. Australia is a dry continent with an average low rainfall. It is also a hot country with high temperatures. This means that water evaporates from the dams, rivers, and lakes that supply water to the cities and towns, further reducing available water. If there isn't enough rainfall, this leads to drought. Without rain, the soil becomes dry and lifeless, and no plants can grow. Other sources of water for agriculture and industry have to be found. Did you know? State governments are looking for other ways to increase their water supply. Desalination plants where salt water is converted to fresh water. Recycling sewerage waste for use in irrigation. Encouraging people to install their own water tanks to collect rainwater. Fast facts. Most cities in Australia experience bans at some time on watering lawns and washing cars. Drought. When the land is dry for a long time. January. May. These illustrations show the spread of the drought in just 4 months in early 2005.
The most recent drought in Australia began in 2002.
Irrigation. Bringing water to land through ditches and pipes. The Murray and Darling rivers flow through Queensland, New South Wales and Victoria and provide water for irrigation. If this river system has low levels because of drought, crops and livestock are at risk. Did you know? Drought also affects supplies of electricity if hydroelectric plants have to shut down because water levels are too low. Rising temperatures. During a long, cold winter, the sunny days of summer can't come quickly enough. But too much hot weather can be deadly. During last century, more people in Australia died in heat waves than any other natural hazard. Most were killed by heat stroke. This is when a person's body gets so hot that it can no longer sweat enough to cool itself down. Once someone's body temperature rises above 40.5 degrees Celsius, they can die within 10 minutes if they don't receive medical attention right away.
The best fluid to drink in hot weather is water.
Heat stroke. A dangerous medical condition caused by the body overheating. Did you know? There are ways to prevent heat stroke in hot weather. Drink lots of fluids so your body can sweat and you don't get dehydrated. Be sensible about what you do and where you go. Wear cool clothes and protect yourself from the sun with sunscreen and a hat. Global warming is a rise in the Earth's temperature. Scientists believe this has been caused by human activity. We produce too many greenhouse gases and they trap too much of the sun's heat. This has led to changes in temperatures on land and in the oceans. Scientists believe that this climate change is leading to more extreme weather conditions. Coral. The skeletons of tiny sea creatures. The Great Barrier Reef is the world's largest coral reef off the coast of Queensland. Even a 1-degree change in temperature can affect the fragile coral. It loses its colour. Right. This is called coral bleaching. Bushfires. There are bushfires in Australia every year. Hot and dry conditions and strong winds can greatly increase the danger. Fires can start spontaneously in dry vegetation, sometimes after a lightning strike, or they can be started by people, either accidentally or deliberately. The fires spread quickly, sometimes leaping over roads and streams. Firefighters use helicopters and light aircraft to get information about the extent of the fire front and to waterbomb fires. Eucalyptus, an evergreen Australian tree.
People living in bushfire areas should have a bushfire plan.
The leaves of the eucalyptus or gum tree contain oil that burns easily. The smoke makes it difficult for firefighters to see where the fire is raging. Protective, covering to prevent injury. Firefighters wear protective clothing. They risk their lives to save people and property. Did you know? Aboriginal people used fire carefully to manage the land. They burnt back the trees and grasses to clear an area and enrich the soil. Many Australian plants grow back quickly after a fire. The plane scoops water out of a nearby lake or dam and drops it over the fire. This is called water bombing. Find out more. Cyclones, drought, lightning strikes, bushfires, floods, heat waves, storm surges. Yes, the weather can get pretty wild sometimes. If you want to find out more about wild weather, check out the internet. Type a weather word such as cyclone or heat wave into a search engine. The NASA website has satellite photos of wild storms and cyclones over the Earth. Take a look at weather maps in the daily newspaper to see if you can predict any wild weather. Satellites take photos that are used to predict weather. Fun page.
Quiz. Click the box next to the correct answer.
1. What do you call the center of a cyclone? A. Eye. B. Wheel. C. Surge. 2. Where is the Great Barrier Reef? A. In Sydney Harbour. B. Near Melbourne. C. Off the Queensland coast. 3. Where would you find a desalination plant? A. Close to the coast. B. In the central city. C. In the outback. 4. Where does weather take place? A. On the ground. B. Below the cloud layer. C. Above tall buildings. 5. How far away is the storm if there are 30 seconds between the lightning and thunder? A. 10 kilometers. B. 5 kilometers. C. 20 kilometers. 6. What is the #1 weather-related killer in Australia? A. Cyclones. B. Floods. C. Heat waves. Seven. How many times did lightning flash over Darwin in 2002? A. 6,134. B. 1,634. C. 634. 8. What is heat stroke? A. When your body gets so hot it cannot cool itself down. B. When you sweat too much. C. When your blood starts to boil. 9. What is a water bomb used for? A. To irrigate crops. B. To fight bushfires. C. To help in heat waves. 10. What city did Cyclone Tracy hit? A. Brisbane. B. Perth. C. Darwin.
Now check your answers.
Glossary. Condense. Turn from gas into a liquid. Coral. The skeletons of tiny sea creatures. Devastate. Turn into a wasteland. Drought. When the land is dry for a long time. Equator. Imaginary line around the middle of the earth. Eucalyptus. An evergreen Australian tree. Eye. The calm, cloudless centre of a storm. Flash flood. A flood that happens suddenly because of heavy rain. Heat stroke. A dangerous medical condition caused by the body overheating. Irrigation. Bringing water to land through ditches and pipes. Isolated. Separated from others. Protective. Covering to prevent injury. Tropics. The areas on either side of the equator. Water vapor. Water in the form of an invisible gas. Index.
Word sorter. Click Start. A, E, I, O, U are the vowels. The letter U has a short sound in under and a long sound in universe. Does the vowel U in these words make a short or long sound? Sort them out. Drag the correct word into the space, then click on Check It. Good try. This word goes in this box. Good try. This word goes in this box. Good try. This word goes in this. Fantastic. Drag the next word. Fantastic. Drag the next. Well done. Drag the next word. Fantastic. Drag the next. Fantastic. Drag the next word. Good try. This word goes in this box. Fantastic. Drag the next word. Great work. Drag the next word. Great. You sorted all the words. You are really good at sorting out words. Click on Print or click Next to finish. Missing words. Here is a page from the book with some of the words missing. You can put them back. Click on Start. Drag the correct word into the space, then click on Check It. Try again. That's great. Try the next word. Brilliant. Try the next word. Fantastic. Try the next word. Try again. That's great. Try the next word. That's great. They're all done. Click on Print to print your missing words page, or click Next to finish. Let's do a crossword puzzle using words from the book. A crossword is a fun way of thinking about the meaning of different words. Click on Start. Type the letters to make the word in the clue, then click on Check It. Click Delete to delete a letter. Click Clear to delete a word. That's great. Brilliant. Brilliant! Well done! Well done! That's great! Brilliant! Congratulations! You have finished the crossword. Click on Print to print your crossword or click Next to finish.